Spokane this morning in the state park. It is clearly snowing. So our plans were originally to hike to the summit of Mount Spokane via the Bald Knob campground. Because the weather is not going to be pleasant up there, it'll be windy and chilly, and there won't even be views anyways from the Vista House on top of Mount Spokane. We opted to hike lower down on the mountain so that we're covered by trees and in the forest. So a very different hike than we originally planned, but still will be awesome, and I'm excited to take you guys along and show you why snowshoeing is a ton of fun. So the Kit Carson Loop Trail actually starts from the road and goes up from there, and then it branches off onto a few different trails depending on what you want to do. We are branching off of the Kit Carson Loop Road onto Trail 104. Don't have a map, but I know that I've hiked this before. So our goal is to loop up to the Conservation Corps cabin and then loop back around down. Sorry, before my dog rudely interrupted. We are hiking hopefully to the Conservation Corps cabin and then looping back down the road. But yeah, we're headed up a side trail off of the road to do that so that we're a little bit more on our own. So we definitely made the right choice when we decided to stay lower in the trees. It's still snowing, but not as hard, obviously, because we have a little canopy above us, and it's super pleasant to be down here. Trail 104 branches into Trail 100. It actually, I think, ends here officially. So it heads up and it heads left from if you're hiking up. If you're hiking down, then you'll turn right onto Trail 104 and head down. If you're hiking up off of 104, left onto Trail 100 and head that way. Unless you're headed up 100, then you do you. Don't listen to me. I am way too warm right now, headed uphill, and kind of at that in between. I could have done a lighter jacket. I'll probably be stripping this soon. You want to be cold when you start because you will get warm pretty quick. Obviously, if your trail is flat or mostly downhill, that'll be different. But a good rule of thumb is to start cold because you're gonna get hot pretty quick with the work. Yeah, and that's true of like skinning and snowshoeing and other outdoor sports in the winter. It's about 5 minutes later, and I am down to my fleece and my vest. Definitely sweating, and you don't want to be sweating while you're hiking in the winter. Hiking 101, wetness kills. We aren't out doing anything extreme, but it's also just more comfortable to not be sweating, so. This dog does not want me to film. So we are almost to the top of this little peak. It's not a peak, don't know why I said peak, hill. And then from there, we just drop down to the cabin. It's a good time. I am sweating so much, but it's so worth it. And it's so beautiful out here with the snow. It's definitely short enough that like it's worth the work. You can put in the work. It's not like you're doing this for 5 miles. It's maybe a mile and a half up. But gets your heart rate up. This trail is marked by little blue diamonds. You'll follow them to make sure you're en route, but it's not hard to tell if you're on the trail or not, even with the snow on the ground. Did it all the way up, and now it's just downhill to the cabin and then mostly downhill back to the car. Woo! Trail 100 pops you out right at the Smith Gap, which is where the Conservation Corps cabin is. During COVID, it is used only for emergencies, so we're gonna respect that and not go in, but it's a beautiful spot. If it's a really cold day, they normally have a fire going. You can have your hot cocoa there. Yeah, and it's just open. Great spot to end your hike and turn around and go back. Or if you wanna keep going, you head up the road to the summit of Mount Kit Carson, which is up to you. We're gonna turn back and head down the road towards the parking lot. The road is a lot wider than the trails and a little better tracked. I've seen families do it, dragging their kids on a sled, but yeah, so it's a little bit wider. Normally you won't have to break trail because there's snowmobile tracks, so so it might be a little bit more accessible. And because it's a road, it's also a lot mellower of an incline when it does come up. So great option. But we enjoyed the trails. It's nice to get more into the deep forest, whereas the road is more open. So we just finished our hike. It was awesome. The nice thing about that trail is that you're just under the forest the whole time. So it was snowing on and off, but with the trees we weren't too foggy, and it created this really cool vibe. That trail is all forested. You're not getting any crazy mountain views, but the forest itself is beautiful, lush and green, even in the winter where it was super snowy. So we love that. Lots of fun. You can make it harder by taking the side trails or easier by just taking the road. We did clock our loop back and it was about 1.5 miles. So my guess is we finished between 3.5 and 4 miles. I will look up how long that trail that we did is, and there'll be a number on the screen right now, but my guess is 3.5 and 4 miles. So let's see how right I was. If you're just doing the road, it's going to be about 3 miles to the cabin total round trip. Great hike. Forests are awesome. Love Mount Spokane.